Am I the asshole for ending my relationship because my boyfriend uses ChatGPT? Whenever I ask him for advice, I see that something well elaborated comes. I thought that in fact it was him trying hard to try to help me, but no, he uses ChatGPT to formulate the answer. My problem is that I think this is wrong, since I'm talking to a bot and not him, and honestly we're old enough to know how to respond decently to someone aged 19. He told me that he uses his own arguments, that he just asks the chat to put in a little text and send it to me, but the ideas are his, and that he also uses it as a spelling correction. At the same time that I try to understand his side, I think it's absurd and I find myself without arguments and just sad about it all. I'm thinking about breaking up. We were already having some problems about demonstrations of love. I feel like I do a lot of things for him and he doesn't do anything, and what happened now motivates me to end it all. Notes: I've had a few conversations with him about being more present, demonstrating that he cares about me, as I consider authentic connections fundamental to the relationship. It's not just because he uses the chat, but because of all that together. I don't ask for advice very often, only when I really need it and I don't know how to deal with the feelings alone. He has some insecurities about his appearance, but when it comes to giving advice and expressing his opinion, he's pretty confident.
Am I the asshole for using my kids' college accounts for my retirement? I have a college account for each kid. They all have around $50,000 at the moment. Now my oldest went to trade school and we used his account to pay for that. It was relatively cheap. My daughter went to a small cheap community college before she dropped out. She's now married and a stay-at-home mom. So both of the accounts still have a ton of money in them and the two kids are well established at this point. The oldest makes six figures at this point and my daughter married well off, and if they did divorce she would get a lot. So I empty the accounts to use for my retirement. I mentioned it at dinner and they were pissed, saying they still deserve the money even though it was for college only and they never put a cent in. They both called me a dick. They asked why I could retire early. I told them the reason. I wasn't going to hide it. They knew the money was in the account. It would have came up eventually, if not for them, but asking if they could use the extra for their kids.
Am I the asshole for refusing to bring my sister's child on a vacation, when the cost isn't an issue and I am already bringing my brother's children? While me and my husband are childless and don't want any kids of our own, we love to spend time with our nieces and nephews. This includes my brother's 11-year-old son Alan, 6-year-old daughter Ava, and my sister's 10-year-old daughter Kelly. Last May, we planned a weekend trip with the kids to a beach town about an hour away. We did this to spend time with them and also to confirm if they would be ready for longer overnight trips, and we'd also be within driving distance of home if any of them needed to go home early. Me and my husband expected that Ava may have had a hard time being away from her parents overnight since she's still 6. But both she and Alan were well behaved the whole trip. Kelly, however, misbehaved for the entirety of the beach trip. Friday, pick up from their parents' houses around 5 and got to the beach town by 7. During the car ride, Kelly was being an instigator and kept trying to start a fight with Alan. Kelly was not listening at the grocery store and refused to take turns with Alan and Ava with the TV. Saturday, Kelly threw a fit because she wanted ice cream and we told her that we wouldn't be going to the ice cream store until later. We told her she could have fruit for a snack if she was hungry, and Kelly threw some of the fruit in the trash before my husband stopped her. At the beach, Kelly kept refilling the hole Ava was trying to dig with sand despite being told multiple times to stop. Kelly kept trying to start fights with her cousins. During dinner, Kelly was rude to our waitress and was sarcastic the first time we told her to apologize. Sunday, at the gift store, Kelly wanted to have a conch shell and a mermaid doll but didn't have enough pocket money to get both. When we told Kelly she would need to pick one and couldn't have both, she ended up being allowed to have neither because she kept throwing a fit. At the hotel, Kelly was not listening and kept trying to watch TV despite being told multiple times to help with packing suitcases. During the car ride home, Kelly was again being an instigator and kept trying to start fights with Alan and Ava. Me and my husband told my sister that Kelly was not coming on any more overnight trips with us because of her behavior. My sister is angry now because we haven't changed our minds and are staying true to our word by only bringing Alan and Ava to our week-long trip in August. My sister told me that Kelly is just acting like a kid and she's only 10. I agreed with my sister that, exactly, Kelly is a 10-year-old. There's a reason we waited until the kids got to their current ages. She's too old to be constantly misbehaving and throwing fits like a 4-year-old. She says Alan and Ava may be mature and calm for their ages, but I am out of line to punish Kelly for not being the exception to her age, and she hopes me and my husband feel good about ourselves after excluding a child. Is my sister right that we're the asshole?